We are announcing today and introducing J.B. Bickerstaff as the head coach of the Memphis Grizzlies. We've taken the interim tag off. He's our permanent head coach, and we're very pleased to be able to do so.
J.B. Bickerstaff took over in November under some tough circumstances. Number one, first and foremost, he didn't have Mike Conley. He didn't have a lot of the healthy veterans that he needed. He kept the standards high. He kept the accountability at an all-time high level.
When you went through what was such a nightmare of a season, he never lost their attention, and they all respect him.
The sooner you get down and out, the better. Yeah, because you're looking to set that screen. They're playing pick and roll, and your man is just in the middle of it. So just dive all the way out of there, boy. Yep, keep working, boy.
And it's one thing to be a likable guy and everybody like you. They respect him. They play hard for him. And I think with such a young roster, I was in favor of stability. He went through the hardest times with those guys, and he knows how they react in certain situations.
He has a deep relationship with this entire roster going back before he was an interim coach, the year he spent here as an assistant coach.
This got to be the best defensive quarter we play all year. They get no more second shots. All right? Everybody's got to be on the glass.
He knows our players inside and out like no outside coach we could bring in would know at this time. And the players know that he was in there just battling as hard as they were. He wasn't going to give up. He wasn't going to let the group drop the rope. He was going to improve them individually.
Being able to go through some ups and downs with them, see what their personality's like when they're at their highest, see what the personalities are like when they're at their lowest, makes it easier for me and for them as well. We've developed really good relationships.
He instantly connected with Mark and Mike, and he also developed some of the younger guys. So if that's going to be your goal, not only to draft a guy that can come in and help this team right now, but also have a guy that you can transition this franchise over to once Mark and Mike retire. JB's doing both of that now. He did all of that during the season when he talks about maximizing Mark and keeping him engaged as a leader. Marc Gasol is a 10-year veteran in this league, and Mark was held to the same standards, the same accountability, and really the same, hey, you got to show up and do what you need to do, the same way as Deontay Davis.
Being able to connect with guys in this league and being able to connect with guys who are as good as they are in this league, you know, to me just starts with honesty and being truthful with one another.
You look at Dillon Brooks, go back to that Portland game during the season.
Rebound to the corner, McCollum didn't get it away, the Grizzlies win!
Dillon Brooks did a terrific job of not going for the pump fake in the corner.
Dillon makes a great defensive stand on C.J. McCollum and wants to celebrate. The first thing JB does is hops off the bench and screams at Dillon, hey, you almost missed this assignment. And he's trying to keep him accountable. He's trying to make sure that the foundation is established.
Fortunately, you know, guys like Mike and Mark that we have here on this team, they respect the truth. May not always be what they want to hear. Our opinions may not always be the same, but at the end of the day, they respect, you know, me giving them my honest opinion. We've had very difficult conversations. You know, I don't always, you know, win those discussions. You know, you have to be open-minded enough to see, you know, that a guy, you know, all-star caliber players, they understand what works best for them and how they can best help the team. So even if I have a vision of what I think can work and what can be effective, you know, we can have open and honest communication.
The biggest advantage he has with players is he's honest with them. They know they're going to find out exactly where they stand, what they've got to do to improve if they want to move up the pecking order. He doesn't pull any punches, and they know that he's in this same boat with them.
It's not just you know, one guy's the hammer and one guy's the nail. We have a reciprocal relationship and we move things back and forth with one another. But at the end of the day, you have to put your stamp on it. And the guys, when you have that dialogue, they respect it because they understand that it's just about the game. You know, it's nothing personal.
Oh, that's the one. That's the one. Oh, I'm going to get it there. It's either going to hit the backstop or it's going to hit the catcher, one of the two. Oh. You made that look real easy. One more. All right. All right. All right, what do you guys say? Thank you.
We love the city of Memphis. You know, our family has fallen in love with the city.
What's up, baby?
Where are we gonna sit?
I'm not sure.
All right, so you see the big club here, 2 suites down. So right up this way.
Okay. They got snacks and everything in there for you.
We couldn't be happier here. We're excited to be here. You know, our kids, you know, love the school they go to. They've made great friends. We've made great friends, you know, that'll last a lifetime. You know, so we couldn't be happier to be here in Memphis.
Yeah, I threw it.
It's been a long time since the Grizzlies have been bad, and so they've been in the lottery. But I have very serious post-traumatic stress regarding the lottery. You know, you go through bad seasons, but the light at the end of the tunnel has been you get a great draft pick, this can be your future going forward. More often than not, the light has been a train that has run us over.
All right, so we'll go down the hallway to a storage closet where we still have 2 things left over from the 2007 lottery party. Yeah, that was the year where we ended up with the 4th pick, even though we had the 2nd best odds. Thankfully ended up with Mike Conley, who has anchored our franchise since then. But at the time, the expectation was that there would be a top 2 pick coming, and if you remember who the top 2 candidates were for that year, it was Greg Oden and Kevin Durant. So these are left over and haven't been used publicly since the 2007 draft and lottery party.
I have my experience in the lottery with both the Boston Celtics and here earlier before we got our playoff streak running. I've been the guy out front on the TV show. I've been the guy backstage. Being backstage is more nerve-wracking and harder duty. They take all your communication devices. You're in a windowless room. The drawing is done a good hour before it's announced on television. You're not released until the number 1 pick is given out on stage.
The Grizzlies have the 2nd worst record coming into the lottery, which means they have about a 19.9% chance at the number 1 overall pick. No more than 2 or 3 teams can jump over them and slide them all the way back. So they're guaranteed of a top 5 pick in this situation. And really, you're in the right spot to be in because as some of the evaluators of this draft have said, this is a top 6, top 7 type field when you talk about franchise-altering, potential game-changing type prospects.
Even if the drawing goes against us, this draft is deep enough even at the 5 spot to cover us with quality players. And you look at recent drafts, they never go according to form. Let's go back to last year's draft. Donovan Mitchell, if we're redrafting right now, he'd be in the top 2. So I'm not going to really sweat this. We don't control it, and we'll just see what happens.
We're the only professional sports team that has a direct naming affiliation with a public school. They do amazing work there with young men who attend there from middle school from 5th or 8th grade.
We realize that some kids come to Grizzlies Prep behind in reading, sometimes 2, 3 grade levels behind. That's one of the things they want to do is have academic excellence. The second thing is to help young men deal with the social and emotional problems. I mean, they bring so much other stuff to the classroom that doesn't have anything to do with school or grades. Help them realize that those issues are not just unique to them.
It was a Tuesday afternoon, and Diane Terrell from the Grizzlies gave me a call, and she said, "You're not going to believe this. They want to send a student with Elliot Perry to represent the team."
I found out I was going to the lottery through my principal, Mr. Couch. He asked me how would I like to go with Elliot Perry. I was about to literally scream, but I kept my composure and said yes, I wanted to go.
Courtney right now is pretty much the model 8th grader. Courtney works incredibly hard in class. He participates. He's a leader among his peers. Courtney has changed a lot since coming to Grizzlies Prep, but the one thing that's remained the same is he really does demonstrate our core value of responsibility more so than any other student I can think of. Courtney's really open about his story and how his mom is legally blind, stays with his grandmother, and these are types of responsibilities that he's had in his entire life. If I were to have those types of responsibilities, I don't even know if I'd be half the man that Courtney is.
Prior to Courtney attending Grizzlies Prep, he was just an average kid where, they come home from school and they may tell you how their day was at school and they just put the backpack down and go. But since he's been at Grizzlies Prep, it's like a total different person. He's, well, I learned this today at school. Oh, I learned this today at school.
Ever since coming to Grizzlies Prep, he's worked incredibly hard. He's done everything that he's needed to do to grow academically. He's a very motivated young man. He's inspiring to the staff here, inspiring to his friends here. So I'm excited for him to have this opportunity.
I husband was diagnosed with kidney failure, and he had had a transplant. And after the transplant, it lasted for a while, but then things began to go south. And he had gone to the doctor to not get a good, outcome of what was going on with his system. And I came home from work, and Courtney was he was just, I think, maybe in preschool. And they had a real close relationship. And my husband was getting ready to tell me everything the doctor had said that day, and I was like, not right now. And when I finally came back and said, okay, tell me what the doctor says, he said, but first I gotta tell you, if that boy goes to school and make anything less than an A, I'm gonna beat him. He said, because I sat here and I told him everything that the doctor told me today. And he was so encouraging, and he told me that, Granddad, it's gonna be okay. We just gonna take it one day at a time. We're gonna take this day, then the next day. And he was like, and my husband actually began to tear up then because his news or his prognosis was not good at that time. I tell Courtney all the time that he's down there in that grave just smiling away. He was the true Grizzlies friend that brought sports, out into our lives. And he would just be, he would be just elated.
Today it is NBA Lottery Day. After a 60-loss season, hopefully the dividends are paid. And we'll find out what pick the Grizzlies have in the upcoming 2018 NBA Draft. And we'll find that out tonight.
What's your good luck charm?
James Posey.
Let's see it.
When the Grizzlies made their first playoff appearance in Memphis, James Posey gave me this headband at their last home game before the playoffs.
I really didn't bring anything. I wore some socks that I consider my...
You've got your lucky socks.
Did you see that this is my lucky shirt?
That is probably the best shirt there. And the guy beside her is into Vegas with gambling stuff. I really like that.
I think it's cool that Elliot took a kid from Grizz Prep up to the lottery.
That was who I wanted to go.
Yeah.
It's one of the biggest things they do is the Grizz community because, they did not get enough credit for how they work in the community, give back to the community. It's one thing Para's invested in a lot of money to get that set up and to get it working for everybody. And, and of course, Elliot Perry, who's a better.
Yeah.
I am thrilled to be here with you tonight for this event.
Get to Elliot Perry.
There he goes!
They still I'm gonna need everybody to call in all the good karma they got. If you ever walked an old lady across the street,
all right, here we go.
Or if you bought coffee from somebody, let's go.
And the fourth pick in the 2018 NBA Draft goes to the Memphis Grizzlies.
So the Grizzlies have fallen out of the top three.
If you go back and look, that's 10 years of the draft, that if you had that fourth pick in that draft, you absolutely could have gotten one of the best three guys in that draft. 9 out of 10. If you had the fourth pick, you could have gotten one of the top 3 players in that draft. You got a great chance of getting an outstanding player for it. You do. But it's about nailing it.
Inside the first 4, we're still in the first wave of players. On draft night, there's going to be some very exciting young players. We've got nothing but options in front of us.